Alright guys, this is it. At long last, our Pokemon League Challenge has come to a head. It is time to challenge the Elite Four. Our team is all level 55, as you can see, and their movesets have been finalized. I have finally taught all of them Hyper Beam. So we have Body Slam, Blizzard, Thunder, and Hyper Beam for Ron the Tauros. Sin the Arcanine has Flamethrower, Dig, Reflect, and Hyper Beam. Sia the Executor has Psychic, Solar Beam, Sleep Powder, and Hyper Beam. Pal the Blastoise has Surf, Ice Beam, Submission, and Hyper Beam. Veery the Nidoqueen has Earthquake, Rock Slide, Surf, and Hyper Beam. And last but certainly not least, our newly evolved Adden the Dragonite has Thunderbolt, Surf, Fire Blast, and Hyper Beam. Pretty good movesets. I'm really happy with the way things turned out. And before we go on, I did want to do something that I almost never do in these games, and that's actually use these PP ups. And I figured we only have 3 moves across our whole party that really could use power point increases. And that's Fire Blast, Hyper Beam, and Blizzard. So let's go ahead and use it on... I'm just going to use it on the Fire Blast and Hyper Beam for Adden, since he's probably our best Pokemon, at least the highest stats. And as you can tell, I also have a lot of heal items in my inventory, but those are just for between battle. We're going to try to do the entire league without using a single in-battle item or the Poke-Flute, and I'm actually going to try not to use too many out-of-combat heal items as well. So, let's get started and see how this goes. And of course we can't leave. Someone's voice. Don't run away! Whose voice? Not sure. Someone's. And I think you can actually surf here too. But I don't believe you can find any Pokemon. And you can also fish here. I don't know if fishing gets you any Pokemon or not. But alright, let's take on the first member of the Kanto Elite Four. Welcome to Pokemon League. I am Lorelei of the Elite Four. No one can best me when it comes to icy Pokemon. Freezing moves are powerful. Your Pokemon will be at my mercy when they are frozen solid. Hahaha, are you ready? I think I am. And I have Tauros up first because even though she's an Ice-type trainer, most of her Pokemon are also Water-type. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense to use a Fire type, and I could try to use a Grass type, but Ice is good against Grass. So I figure we'll go with Ron. He's a normal type, he knows Thunder, and let's see how it goes. As you can tell, our Pokemon are roughly on par with the Elite Fours right now, but they will get progressively higher as we go. Alright, not a bad opening hit. Dugong has used Takedown, didn't do too much damage. Let's go for a Body Slam to finish off Dugong. Alright. And that's our first defeat. Cloyster. Now Cloyster has really high defense, but luckily I don't think it's special. I think its special stat is decent, but not super great. So it probably will survive one Thunder, but not by much. Alright, not by much at all. And Lorelei used a Super Potion. Alright, 2 thoughts there. 1, why does she not have Hyper Potions or Full Restores? And 2, how did she know I was going to... I feel like she got to decide that after my move already hit, which is not the way it should be. But must be a Gen 1 only thing. I think Body Slam will defeat it. Maybe I should use Hyper Beam. I should use Hyper Beam. Alright then. So it seems like... Oh, that's weird. I hit Fight, and before I choose a move, she already uses her Super Potion. Oh, it's because of the Clamp. I gotcha. Clamp is like Wrap, I guess. And yet somehow... Okay, yeah, I guess that's true, because you have to hit Fight for the next round to go, so that makes sense. Alright, let's go for a Hyper Beam then. That should be enough to defeat it. Based on how much Body Slam did that time. I feel like I should be like, Tauros Hyper Beam! Like they always do in the anime. Critical hit. 2 Pokemon down. And we have a Slowbro, her only non-Ice type, because there are only 5 Ice Pokemon in this generation. And one of them is Articuno, a legendary. So obviously they wouldn't give her Articuno. Not a bad opening hit. Let's see what Slowbro does. Growl, and it failed. That's not good. I do think Body Slam should be good enough to defeat Slowbro, though. Alright, good job, Ron. So far we are taking down her Pokemon without much trouble. Alright, so Jinx is Ice and Psychic type. So it is not weak to either Blizzard or Thunder. Let's go for... I'm tempted to go with Hyper Beam, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to defeat it. I think it would, but let's go for Body Slam, play it a little safe. And Body Slam defeated the Jinx, so obviously Hyper Beam would have as well. Alright, her best Pokemon, tied for level with Jinx, but a lot higher stats, is her Lapras. Once again, weak to Thunder. But we missed. And Blizzard missed as well. That was lucky for us. I think in this game, Blizzard actually has like an 85% accuracy chance. Wow, that's not too much at all. But that's because we don't get stab on Thunder. And Lapras has a very high special stat. Alright, so Lapras got a crit. Not sure it needed it. And as I've been fighting Lorelei to train up my Pokemon, I've noticed that her Lapras actually has a pretty good move pool. I think it's Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Confuse Ray, and Body Slam. Not bad at all. So let's see. Obviously Veery is weak, so is Adden. Pal might be a good pick here. Sia knows Solar Beam, which could be good, but Sia is also weak to Grass type. So yeah, actually our team is a little Lapras weak. But then again, I assume most teams are. So we're going to send out our own Water type, and I taught Blastoise Submission specifically for this type of scenario against a Pokemon like Lapras. Not quite a kill. And that's mainly due to Lapras' high HP. We could switch to remove the confusion, but I'm going to stay in. Seems to be a bad choice. And Confuse Ray back to back. Not sure what you're doing there, Lorelei. Oh, we missed. Another Confuse Ray. This Lapras is determined to keep us confused. And we missed again. Wow. She's getting a little bit of luck on her side there, but that's okay. And a crit. Come on, pal. You can do it. Or not. This Lapras might actually defeat two of our Pokemon. It did. Another crit. Alright, so Lorelei's got a bit of luck on her side, but that's okay. Let's send out... Yeah, Sin will be weak to Hydro Pump, but Sia's weak to Blizzard. You know what, let's send out Sin, because ironically in Pokemon Go I always use Arcanines to defeat Laprases. So I think we can do the same thing here. Arcanine should be faster, and a Flamethrower should do the trick. Alright, perfect. It says it's not very effective, but it's really evenly effective, because it's bad against water, good against ice, and Lapras is both. How dare you? How dare me? That's why we're here. You're better than I thought. Go on ahead. You only got a taste of Pokemon League power. Alright, Lorelei. So let's go ahead. Who should we use against the second Elite Four member? Let's go with Veery. And I am going to revive our other teammates, even though we probably won't need them to be revived. Pal and Ron. And I'm going to put them at the back of the queue. Where are some of those fresh waters I have? I'm going to try not to use those two unless we absolutely need to. Sorry, this healing is taking a little bit, guys. Can't run to the Pokemon Center. Once you're in, you're in. And one more. Alright. One Elite Four down, 3 to go. I am Bruno of the Elite Four. Through rigorous training, people and Pokemon can become stronger. I've weight trained with my Pokemon. Can't! We will grind you down with our superior power. Hoo-ha! It's funny how I remember their speech just from playing this game so much. I could have told you he was going to say hoo-ha before I even read it there on the screen. And he leads with Onix, not a fighting type. The weird part is there actually are a few fighting types in the game that he doesn't have. Primeape and Poliwrath, notably. And as I've said with, I believe, other Onix, Earthquake will be super effective, but because it's a physical move, I'm going to go for Surf, knowing that Onix has a very low special stat. I'm guessing the reason they give him an Onix, or two Onix actually, as we'll see, is to counter flying types, which otherwise would be good against fighting types, but I would have definitely given him a Golem, because I don't think any trainer in the game has a Golem. And it's a lot more powerful than Onix for sure. Alright, now we are going against Hitmonchan. Never been a fan of Hitmonchan just because it has a very low special stat, and all of the elemental punches in these games are special attacks. Thunder Punch, that was really, really dumb. Not sure why he went with that move. It probably knows Ice Punch or Ice Punch or Mega Punch or something. I don't know why he would try to use an electric attack against a ground type Pokemon. Seems like some of these people really should not be Elite Four members. Hitmonlee I do like though. It's fairly fast, I think. Has a really good attack stat. Knows some good moves. Always been more of a fan of Hitmonlee. Not quite a one-hit KO, and he's going to use an X-Defend, which is not really going to help it at this point. Let's save our Surfs and finish it off with a Surf attack. Or save our Earthquakes, rather. So far, Veery is having no problem at all against Bruno's Pokemon. I do think Lorelei, ironically, is one of the more difficult Elite Four members. Bruno's probably the easiest, even though his Pokemon are slightly higher level. Having two Onix in your team is just not great, and even Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan aren't really that awesome at this level. Like if he had like a Poliwrath or even a Primeape with its like auto-crit Karate Chops, that would have made this a little tougher. Alright, and there's Machamp. Arguably the strongest fighting type in the game. Let's go with Earthquake. And for Nidoqueen, Earthquake and Hyper Beam will actually do the same amount of damage, because Earthquake is base 100, which gets Stab. Ooh, that was a crit, so Machamp does have pretty good defense. And I tried to use Fissure, but again, I'm pretty sure the Fissure only works on Pokemon that are slower than you. And, you know, even though we could use Earthquake probably to finish it, let's go for Hyper Beam. Alright, Nidoqueen, Hyper Beam attack! And that'll be the end of Elite Four Bruno. Not that difficult. Must say I'm not too impressed. Why? How could I lose? It's because of the Thunder Punch, Bruno. It's because of the Thunder Punch. My job is done. Go face your next challenge. I remember how cool it was to see Bruno in the anime, and I think they've all appeared in the anime at this point. Actually, I'm sure they have. Although Agatha didn't appear for a long, long time. Alright, now she has Ghost types. We don't really have anybody that's good against Ghost types, but they're also Poison, which means they could be weak to Veery. But let's send out Sia. She hasn't had a chance to shine yet. And Psychic will be super effective against most of Agatha's Pokemon. Actually, all of Agatha's Pokemon. I am Agatha of the Elite Four. Oak's taken a lot of interest in you, child. That old Duff was once tough and handsome. That was decades ago. Now he just wants to fiddle with his Pokedex. He's wrong. Pokemon are for fighting. Can't. I'll show you how a real trainer fights. So it seems like she knew Professor Oak growing up. As I think I mentioned before, Oak was originally supposed to be a very tough opponent in this game. And he still has a very high-level team programmed into his game info. Alright, now I'm guessing Gengar might be faster. So let's play it safe and go for Sleep Powder. It is faster, and we are confused. Luckily, there are no Ghost-type attacks. How we missed. Except Lick. And by an odd bug, Lick actually does nothing to Psychic types instead of being super effective. Once again, these Elite Four members really like to use Confuse Ray. Like, using it once is actually a pretty good move, I think, but using it more than once, not so much. Nightshade, that'll do some damage, 56 to be exact. Luckily, we have quite a bit of health at this point. And once again, luck is not on our side. That's okay, though, I kind of like that. It's going to make this a bit of a challenge. And we are asleep, using a bit of our own medicine against us. Alright, and I'm not going to use the Poke-Flute. Tree Meter, that's a good combo there. I will give Agatha that. Of course, it's not very effective, so she probably should have kept using Nightshade instead. And that's right, Agatha is the one Elite Four member that will do switches, kind of like jugglers do. Alright, I'm just going to go for Psychic. I'm not going to bother with Sleep Powder, because I'm pretty sure Psychic will be a one-hit KO. That is, if the swing attack does not defeat us. It did not. And once again, wow, we are not getting any luck here. Alright. I'm kind of happy, though. I like this is a little bit tough. Even if it's mainly due to hacks. I was thinking about sending out Sin before. Who have we used so far? We used Ron and Pal during the first fight. Alright, I don't think... We've used Sin a little bit, but not too much. I'm going to try to save Adden for the next fight. So let's use Reflect, because that'll have the damage from physical attacks, and I feel like a lot of her Pokemon have physical attacks. Haze. Now Haze resets all stat changes, and I don't know if that counts for Reflect or not, 'cause it's not really a stat change. But in this game, it's kind of treated differently than other games, so that's actually a really good question. I'm not sure if Haze resets Reflect or not. But I don't want to risk using it again. Okay, I'm really glad that Supersonic failed. I did not want another one of my Pokemon being confused. So far, confusion has not gone well for us. Alright, good job, Sin. And Gengar is back. But we have, we have Dig. We can't use it quite yet. I'm actually glad that Gengar didn't use Confuse Ray there, because if it did, we'd have to get the lucky coin toss twice in a row to actually execute our Dig. Alright, one-hit knockout Gengar does have a low defense stat, and of course it's super effective. And she has a Haunter, one ghost type that has not evolved yet. We are faster, and we are going to keep using our good old Dig Attack. Haunter tried to use Dream Eater there, but that's one of the things I was talking about when I said the Elite Four has bad AI. Things like using Thunder Punch against a ground type, using Confuse Ray over and over again, using Dream Eater against a Pokemon that's not even asleep. Not the best move choices in the world. We avoided that Glare, which otherwise would have paralyzed us. And we have another knockout. And Agatha is down to her last Pokemon. It is another Gengar, pretty high level and probably faster. It is. And Gengar knows Toxic. So that is a TM move. Some of these Pokemon do actually know TM moves, like Machamp's Fisher was also a TM move. But it seems to only be TM moves from gym leaders, and not necessarily the best ones either. Like, this Gengar could know Thunderbolt, but it doesn't. So yeah, I don't know what the devs were thinking there. They weren't thinking, I guess, is the answer. But that's Agatha. Oh ho, you're something special, child. Thank you. You win. I see what the old duff sees in you now. I have nothing else to say. Run along now, child. Get off my lawn. For having... Oh, that's right, our Pokemon is poisoned. For having so few tiles in this game, I actually think they did a pretty good job making these rooms unique. Alright, so let's go ahead. And I do want to heal up Sia and Sin a bit, and I did actually buy some antidotes. You know, I bet we could have defeated the entire Elite Four using no items at all, but I don't want to get to like the final opponent and then lose, so let's go ahead and heal up. Alright, a couple more fresh waters. Let's use one more on Sia. And you know what, let's go ahead and use one more on Sin as well. We have 14 left. Alright. But we do have one Pokemon that has not had a chance to shine yet, so let's switch out and bring Adden out. And see how this goes. The fourth and final member of the Kanto Elite Four. And my personal favorite. I might have mentioned this as well, but I actually dressed up as this guy for Halloween once when I was little. Everybody thought I was a vampire, but I was not. I was Lance, leader of the Elite Four. I even had like little Pokeballs in my belt with like a Dragonite inside, like a little like bouncy ball. Oh, it was awesome. Ah, I heard about you, Kant. I lead the Elite Four. You can call me Lance, the Dragon Trainer. You know that dragons are mythical Pokémon. They're hard to catch and raise, but their powers are superior. They're virtually indestructible. Well, are you ready to lose? Your league challenge ends with me, Kant. I used to have that entire speech memorized too. But it really irked me when they changed it up for Fire Red and Leaf Green. They added some stupid line in there. It's one of the reasons I really enjoyed this game. It's old school. Alright, so we know some pretty good moves here, and Gyarados being water and flying is of course doubly weak to electric, so I'm pretty sure one Thunderbolt will knock it out quite easily. Unfortunately, we don't know any Ice-type attacks because we taught Ice Beam to Blastoise and Blizzard to Tauros. And normally these three would have pretty good coverage even without Ice Beam, but Dragons are the one type that we don't have good coverage against. Dragons resist Electric, Water, Fire, and Grass as well, all of the starter types. So we're going to go with Hyper Beam, and I hope it's a one-shot. I think it will be. And if it is a one-shot, that means we don't have to waste a turn recharging. Dragonite has, I think, the highest attack stat in the entire game. Rhydon has a pretty good stat too, but I think Rhydon is like 130, and Dragonite is 134. Now, we don't get stabbed from it, unlike Tauros, but still. A 150 power attack coming off of a 134 base stat. That's nothing to laugh about. And Aerodactyl, a fossil Pokemon, one we recently revived. Now, Thunderbolt and Surf are both super effective because Aerodactyl is Rock and Flying type, so Electric is good against Flying, even against Rock. Water is good against Rock, even against Flying. But let's go with Thunderbolt, because if we don't kill it in one shot, at least that way we have a chance to paralyze it. And Aerodactyl's faster. It is a very fast Pokemon. Oh, it survived with a hair left. And Lance has Hyper Potion, so that's good. Not quite full restores, but not bad. I don't think Hyper Beam would have defeated Dragonite, because Dragonite has decent defenses too. And there's a crit. But it certainly would have done a lot of damage. And here we go, Lance's best Pokemon, a level 62 Dragonite versus our Level 55 Adden, but I do think we have better moves, so let's go with Hyper Beam and see who's faster. We're faster, that's surprising, but we missed. And Dragonite knows Slam. I'm pretty sure it also knows Hyper Beam, but luckily it didn't use it there. Come on, Adden, you can do it. Give it all you got. Not sure if this will be a one-hit KO. Nope, not quite. And Dragonite used Agility, so Dragonite is now faster. Hit us with the Slam. Alright, intense battle. I used it again, that's not the brightest move in the world. I would not have used Agility more than once. It's gonna be close. Come on, Adden, you can do it. Dragonite versus Dragonite, and ours comes out ahead. Good job, buddy. Level 56, pretty awesome. Alright, and that is Lance. That's it! I hate to admit it, but you are a Pokemon Master. Thought you had to catch them all to be a Pokemon Master, but still I'll take it. I still can't believe my dragons lost to you, Kant. You are now the Pokemon League Champion. Yay, we're the champion! Or, you would have been. But you have one more challenge ahead. Way to lead us on, Lance. You couldn't have told us that first. Got our hopes up and got us all excited. You have to face another trainer. His name is Joe. He beat the Elite Four before you. He is the real Pokemon League champion. Alright, so a bit of a twist ending there. Our rival Joe has already beaten the Elite Four ahead of us and claimed the title of champion. And of course, when the game came out, this was like a really big surprise. Oh, no revives needed there. Because, you know, there was no, like, custom to follow. Like, nowadays, everyone expects there to be an Elite Four and then a champion. But back at this point, even the idea of a champion wasn't really something we had heard too much about. Alright, so I do want to send out Sia because poor Sia didn't really get too much of a chance to shine yet. But, yeah, I also know what the first Pokemon Joe's going to send out is. You guys can guess. It's the same one he's always used first. And you know what? Let's do it anyway. Because I think Sia can beat his Pidgeot. Prove me right, Sia. Show me what you got. Hey! I was looking forward to seeing you, Kant. My rival should be strong to keep me sharp. While working on Pokedex, I looked all over for powerful Pokemon. Not only that, I assembled teams that would beat any Pokemon type. And now, I'm the Pokemon League Champion. Kant, do you know what that means? I'll tell you. I am the most powerful trainer in the world. Are you now? Little full of himself there. But, most powerful trainer in Kanto, I'll give him that. At least for the time being. Also, I love this music. There's a really beautiful remix online. I'll put a link in the description that I've been listening to like over and over again on Spotify. It's just super epic. Alright, so Pidgeot obviously has the type advantage here. It is a flying type, and we of course are a grass type. But if we can put Pidgeot to sleep, that'll give us a big advantage. Mirror move, not the best way to start the battle. Again, it seems like whatever brain virus has infected the Elite Four also got to Joe here. Now Solar Beam won't be very effective, so let's go with Psychic. Woke up already, that's unlucky. Now Hyper Beam will do a little bit more than Psychic here, but it looks like 2 Psychics will be enough to defeat it. And it lowered its special, that's good. So let's just go for another Psychic, because that'll definitely finish it off. Mirror move. Alright, so good thing I didn't use Hyper Beam then, because obviously Hyper Beam would have done more to Sia than Psychic. A lot more, in fact, because Pidgeot would have gotten stabbed from Hyper Beam, so what could have been. And you saw how little that did there, because Pidgeot did not get stabbed from the Psychic it used via Mirror move, and also because Sia's special stat is ridiculously high. I was actually wrong when I said it was one of the highest in the game. It's actually in a multi-way tie with all of the legendary birds. Alright, and now it's Psychic type versus Psychic type. Executor versus Alakazam. And also Hyper Beam is a special attack. I forgot about that. In later games, it is a physical attack. Let's go for Sleep Powder. I'm going to play it safe. I'm actually kind of glad we're using our own Psychic type now because, alright, we got it. Because Psychic is actually the one type in these games that does resist other Psychic attacks. And in fact, I probably should have gone with Hyper Beam right off the bat. Alright, Executor, Hyper Beam! Because being a physical attack, I'm pretty sure it'll one-shot Alakazam. And it did. Good job, Sia. Rhydon, this should be easy. Now, I probably should put Rhydon to sleep as well, but I want to give our rival at least a chance here. I don't want to sweep his entire team. Horn Drill. Good thing we're slower. Again, I would not have used Horn Drill against a slower Pokemon. And because Solar Beam is 4 times super effective, that is the end of Rhydon. Gyarados. I would not have you sent out a Gyarados. Alright, so all of our moves are going to be even against Gyarados. Let's go with a Psychic. Dragon Rage will do some damage, but only 40 points. So not that much to see ya. Still a little worried that we're going to sweep his entire team. Its special fell. Uh-oh, Gyarados knows Hyper Beam as well. Now, how much is this going to do being a physical attack? I think our defense is still pretty good. But Gyarados does have a very high attack stat. And a crit. Alright, that is the end of Sia. But that's alright. So I'm pretty sure at this point that any of our Pokemon could, well, I don't want to get too cocky, but defeat the rest of his team. But, let's go ahead and bring out Pal. It was the first Pokemon we ever got. Remember when we got him as a little level 5 Squirtle? 26 episodes ago? Now, Surf is going to be not very effective. Ice Beam is evenly effective, Submission is not very effective, and Hyper Beam is evenly effective. So, should I go for Ice Beam or should I risk a Hyper Beam? Now, Gyarados does not have to recharge because it defeated a Pokemon with the last Hyper Beam. This is tough. Gyarados is 6 levels higher. I don't think it'll one-shot it, but let's go for it anyway, just for lulz. Blastoise, Hyper Beam. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a crit. Come on. Nope, didn't do nearly enough, but that's okay. And hopefully it doesn't use its own Hyper Beam now. I do think one more will definitely finish it though, and Ice Beam apparently will not, because Ice Beam will do significantly less than Hyper Beam. Actually, Ice Beam is special though, so this is... I really don't know how the math works out there. But let's give it one more good Hyper Beam, and we shouldn't have to recharge from this one. Yep. Good job, pal. And Arcanine, this should be an easy defeat. It's a high level. But of course Arcanine is Fire type, and Blastoise is Water. Pretty sure this will be a one-shot. Yep, I was wrong. Arcanine has some pretty good special defense. Unfortunately, I don't think his Arcanine knows very many good moves, because just the way they're programmed, it always knows the moves it can only learn as Arcanine, so it wouldn't know, like, Flamethrower, for example. They should teach it Fire Blast, because obviously he's beaten Blaine, so that would be like an obvious thing to teach it Fire Blast, but I don't know if they thought of that in this game. In later games, definitely. In this game, not sure. Alright guys, here it is. My starter versus his. Remember when our Squirtle defeated his Bulbasaur all that time ago? Now this will be a tough matchup. It's really anybody's game at this point. We do have Ice Beam, which is super effective, but I know Venusaur has a pretty good special stat. Critical hit. Good job, Blastoise. Very good job. Razor Leaf. That might be an auto crit as well. But will it be a one-shot, or will Blastoise survive? Come on. Oh, critical hit, and it was a one-shot. It's okay, Blastoise. You did a good job. Alright, let's bring in Adden to finish things off. And we do know Fire Blast should be super effective, but let's just go ahead and use Hyper Beam. We have one left. Give it all you got. And it was the one we got by using the PP up too, so I'm glad we did. And that is the end of Venusaur. And with that, we are now the Kanto League Champions. No! That can't be! You beat my best! After all that work to become League Champ? My reign is over already? It's not fair! Why? Why did I lose? I never made any mistakes raising my Pokémon. Darn it! You're the new Pokémon League Champion, although I don't like to admit it. And look who's here. I recognize that music. Kant! So, you won! Congratulations! You're the new Pokémon League Champion! You've grown up so much since you first left with Squirtle. Kant, you have come of age. Joe, I'm disappointed. I came when I heard you beat the Elite Four, but when I got here you had already lost. Joe, do you understand why you lost? You have forgotten to treat your Pokémon with trust and love. Without them, you will never become a champ again. Kant, you understand that your victory was not just your own doing. The bond you share with your Pokémon is marvelous. Kant, come with me. And this is it, the original Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Kant. This floor is the Pokémon Hall of Fame. Pokémon League champions are honored for their exploits here. Hey, we didn't exploit anything. Played fair and square. Their Pokémon are also recorded in the Hall of Fame. Kant, You have endeavored hard to become the new league champion. Congratulations, Kant. You and your Pokémon are Hall of Famers. Alright guys, we did it. Time to revel in our victory a bit. See ya, the Executor. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Did a really good job in that final battle there. And we have Sin, the Arcanine. A really good fire type with a Flamethrower as its best attack. Good old Nidoqueen. Viri's been with us a long time, our second Pokemon. And I believe our first Stage 3 as well. Good old pal, our starter. Squirtle, then Wartortle, and now Blastoise. Still one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Tauros, one of the most powerful in Gen 1. Getting those stab body slams and hyper beams. Did really good against Lorelei there. And of course, my favorite Pokemon of all, Adin the Dragonite. Well done against Lance, and well done everybody. And there's me, Kant. Pokedex scene 135. Oh, it's going to rate my Pokedex now. It's a little demeaning. Good, you're trying hard. Get an item finder from my aid. Hey, we can get an item finder now. That's cool. Alright guys, and it's credit time. Well, that is it for the Pokemon League. Hopefully you guys have really enjoyed that. I thought that went pretty well overall. Not super challenging, but challenging enough to be interesting, I guess. Overall, I think this is obviously an amazing game. Were there ways it could have improved with the AI and the movesets and stuff? Sure, but that's things that they did a lot better with, even with Yellow, with the sort of special edition of this game. And of course, they've done better and better with Gold and Silver, and then Ruby and Sapphire, and pretty much every game since. We do have one more special bonus episode, which I'll be recording shortly. We have one last rare Pokemon to catch, one last dungeon to explore, just for old time's sakes. But this is our final Pokemon battle, and our final trainer battle as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the last episode as well. And then after that, it's on to Johto, and to take on the trainers there as well. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in episode 27, the last episode of Let's Play Pokemon Red.